The notice requirement provided for the Open Public Meetings Law has been satisfied. Notice was properly given. Said notice having been transmitted by the Courier News on Tuesday, January 16, 2024, as well as posting on the city's website. Clerk, can we have a roll call?
Council members Briggs Jones.
Present.
Cherry.
Present.
McCray.
Present.
Sessoms.
Present.
Wyatt.
Present.
Vice President Graham.
Present.
Council President Hockaday.
Present.
All members present in a quorum.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation.
Humbly we ask God, the giver of peace and the lover of charity, to give the entire family of nations true agreement with his will, and to grant the light of his spirit on all those who work for justice and peace. Amen.
Amen. Amen. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of May 13th?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition or abstentions? Okay, the motion is approved. We'll start with presentations this evening. The first one will be recognizing our wonderful marching band for their participation in the gun violence march. Councilwoman, go right ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. All right. We can have Mr. Williams and our Superintendent, Rashawn Hassan, come to the front, please. Okay. Good evening, Mayor Mapp, City Council President, fellow council colleagues, esteemed guests, and Plainfield residents. Tonight is my privilege to present a resolution to Mr. Gary Williams, Director of the Plainfield Marching Band. On behalf of myself and the City of Plainfield, I'm honored to recognize Mr. Williams' tireless dedication and commitment to the band's excellence. Through his leadership, the Plainfield Marching Band has become a source of pride for our city, inspiring countless young musicians and entertaining our community with their talent and passion. Mr. Williams' hard work and devotion have made a lasting impact on our city, and we are grateful for his service. But I also want to personally thank Mr. Williams for their participation in my gun violence march, which was a testament to his commitment to our community's well-being, and I am deeply grateful for his support by saying yes. To that request, Mr. Williams demonstrated that his dedication to our city goes beyond the marching band. Therefore, I am pleased to present this resolution expressing my sincere appreciation to Mr. Williams and the Plainfield Marching Band. And then I also want to say, I just want to make sure that I recognize the superintendent also as well. And I know back in, I think it was September or either October, I think it might have been October, because I tried to attend all the home football games. And so when I went to the band director, I had mentioned it to him, and he said, oh yeah, why not? He said, let's see, and we'll check the schedule. But he told me the protocol to ask this person and this person. And I said, okay, I will do that. So I did. And then, of course, he's got a million things going on, just like me, but that's okay, though. Being busy is a good thing. So then I did go to the superintendent, and he said yes also as well. So I just wanted to present this resolution to you all to let you know that I appreciated that you all saying yes. And then after they marched and led the band, after the band marched and led us with the gun violence walk, they also went and left with them, packed it up, sweating and everything, and went right to Montclair to march as well. So I'm telling you, that shows a lot, that our children are dedicated, that the director, his leadership, under the also the superintendent and everyone that has to have something to do with this. So I just wanted to let them know that I appreciate them. That's why I kept saying, please come, because I wanted to present this resolution on behalf of them, just showing up and just doing what they need to do. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I will say, whereas the Plainfield Marching Band has long been a pillar of our community, exemplifying excellence in musical performance, dedication, and community service. Whereas on June 1st, 2024, the Plainfield Marching Band participated in the Gun Violence March, lending their powerful talents and inspiring music to the crucial cause. And whereas the band's volunteerism is a testament to their commitment to making a positive impact on our society, demonstrating that music can be a force for change and unity. So I'm going to skip down to the bottom, and it said, "Be it therefore resolved that the Plainfield City Council extends its heartfelt gratitude to the members of the Plainfield Marching Band for their exceptional volunteerism and unwavering commitment in advocating for a cause that affects us all. Be it finally resolved that the Plainfield City Council encourages all citizens to celebrate and support the Plainfield Marching Band for their continued contributions to our community and their role in promoting positive change through the universal language of music." Thank you.
One sec. Let's come up. Okay, we have one additional presentation, proclamation for Job for Americans graduates. Who'll be presenting that one? That will be handled by the mayor. I had the privilege to speak at their graduation or commencement, and it was wonderful. So, Mayor, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Council President. And I want to commend Councilor Terry Briggs-Jones and the governing body for recognizing the talents of the Plainfield School District Marching Band. And I must say that we today enjoy a wonderful partnership with the school district, thanks to the leadership of Superintendent Rashawn Hassan. We thank you and we appreciate you. So this time I'll ask you to join me again up here. And you can bring anyone that you choose to bring that is affiliated with the JAG program. Bring the family, yes. So this is the proclamation from me to the school district recognizing the students from the JAG program. We had the opportunity just a couple weeks ago to welcome the students and the leadership of the JAG program to City Hall, and several students, we probably have about maybe 30 or 40 students that came to City Hall, met with each department director, with division heads, and had the opportunity to explore what government is all about, and to examine some of the possible careers that they could aspire to, as well as to recognize the importance of civic engagement. And so it was a joy, it was a pleasure. We had fun. And I had the opportunity to meet with 3 students for probably about 3 or 4 hours. And they were very engaged, asked some very great questions. And I can tell you that the future of our city is in good hands. And given the leadership that is being provided by the school district today and the partnership that we enjoy, I know that it will only get better from here. So I want to say to you, Superintendent Hassan, as well as, and I forgot your name, who leads the JAG? Okay, but Philippatos, I also want to commend you for your leadership as well. It takes a team in order to make it work. And none of us does it by ourselves, not one of us. And so it takes all of us, and I am so grateful for the work that the school district is doing in advancing education in our city and providing opportunities to our young people. I am not going to read this proclamation. I will only say that now therefore be it proclaimed, I, Adrian O'Mapp, Mayor of the City of Plainfield, do hereby commend and recognize the positive impact, leadership skills, and commitment to excellence of the Plainfield JAG program on the students of Plainfield's public school district. And so if you don't know what JAG stands for, it stands for Jobs for America's Graduates. And that is what it's all about, making sure that they're prepared to go on to great careers in government, public service, and to decide what they want to do for themselves while serving their local municipalities, counties, and states. And so with that, I present you, Superintendent, with this proclamation. And I appreciate you, and I appreciate all of the members of the Board of Education, as well as your staff and other support. Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of the Plainfield Public School District, Board of Education, our commissioners, Mrs. Hane M. Wyatt, Board President, Mr. Victor L. Webb, Vice President, we extend a heartfelt thank you to the City of Plainfield, the Council, Mayor Adrian O'Mapp and his administration for the continued support of our students and our scholars. We embarked upon this journey to roll out our partnership with Jobs for America's Graduates about 2 years ago. It started with a full year of planning, and we knew early on that we really needed to have just a different type of experience for our students to help them learn executive functioning skills, to also help prepare them for what life has to come. We know that our students are the current leaders, but they will also assume the mantle and take control to be the future leaders of our community and of this world. By establishing this partnership, I think we continue to break down barriers and to do things that some people don't believe our children are capable of. This is one of the strongest partnerships that we've established here in Plainfield Public School District. But as I stand before you as the superintendent of schools, I can tell you with 100% certainty, Plainfield Public School District is nothing without these young men and women who show up each and every day to represent our community. So again, thank you for this recognition, and rest assured there's more to come from the JAG program here in Plainfield Public Schools. Thank you.
Superintendent Hassan said everything that there needs to say. I'm just going to bring greetings on behalf of Plainfield Board of Education, but also to say thank you to Mayor Adrian O'Mapp and the City Council for, again, recognizing our students. It's very important that we continue to recognize them, not only within the school district, but within the city overall. So we appreciate the City of Plainfield recognizing our students, because it's important that they know that we always support them and that we're behind them 100%, and no matter what they do, they are our future and we believe in them. So again, thank you, Mayor Mapp, and thank you, City Council. We appreciate the support. We appreciate the partnership that we have developed. We hope to continue to move Plainfield forward together in the best interest of our youth. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We have ordinances MC 2024-24 through MC 2024-33, which are scheduled for public hearing and final passage for the regular meeting as advertised. We'll move next to the legislative body items, R 256-24 through R 261-24. I ask my colleagues if we have consensus to add these items to the voting meeting.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition or abstentions for the legislative body items? Okay, hearing none, those are added to the voting meeting. All right, we'll start with the mayor, business administrator items. Business administrator, would you present your items, please?
Thank you, Council President. We have 3 items on this evening. The first one is a resolution authorizing advice and consent for the reappointment of Director Childress as our OEM coordinator, and he's been doing that for quite some time now. The second one is advice and consent to the appointment of Angela Davis for Shade Tree Commission. And the third is a resolution authorizing the renewal of our contract with New York Life. This is for our short-term, long-term, and life insurance for city employees. And this is the same vendor we've used for many years. They just used to be called Cigna.
Okay, any questions from council colleagues?
Yes, I have a question.
Right ahead, Councilwoman.
For R 264-24, I see that Angela Davis is an employee of the city.
263, right? Yeah, played Shade Tree. Change? 263-24?
263-24. I see that Angela Davis is an employee of the city, but I see that in the application, it says that an employee cannot be part of the commission.
That's correct. So we researched this, and the application is outdated. It's about 20 years old. I read through the whole code. There's nothing that prohibits it, and so it's just an outdated application that doesn't mean anything, and we'll be changing that.
Okay, thank you. And then for R 264-24, I see that there was an increase in the premium. I know that in the increase in the budget, I know our insurance increased. What was the increase from last year, from year over year?
You know, I don't have the dollar figure for last year because it was a 3-year different amount, but I will get that for you. It's a very small, almost nothing of what our full budget is, because even over 3 years, it's only 222. So it's like 75-ish thousand a year. But I'll find out the exact percentage increase for you.
Okay, thank you.
Further questions? Okay, do we have consensus to add these items to the voting meeting?
So moved.
Yes.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions or opposition? All right, add these to the voting meeting. All right, Department of Finance, please present your items.
Good evening, all.
Good evening, Director.
I have 3 items for your approval. 265-24, resolution authorizing approval to issue a lien placement on cyclone properties in the amount of $70,674.34. 266-24, resolution authorizing fees for phone-in credit card payments. What that is we currently have some residents that call in and make credit card payments over the phone, and we charge $1, but the credit card company charges us more. The city loses about $50,000 per year, so we want to increase this fee. But it should not really affect residents because we have put in place many other payment options that they can use. And then resolution 267-24 is a resolution authorizing approval to amend the budget in certain 4 items of revenue and appropriation. This is chapter 159. Do you have any questions?
That's the question I have for my council colleagues.
I have a question
Go right ahead, Councilwoman Sessoms.
regarding 266-24. Is there any consideration to just eliminate the telephone payment, since you mentioned that there are other options, and in the resolution, I think you referenced that it is very time-consuming, labor-intensive for your staff, so to just eliminate it?
We can, but there are some residents that we've told them that there are other options in place, but they still insist that they want to use it. And we don't want to take it away from them if they want to use it, but the city needs to cover its costs.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, do we have consensus to add these items to the voting meeting?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All those say aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions or opposition? Hearing none, these may be added to the voting meeting. We next move to the Police Department. Director, good evening.
Good evening, Council President. Good evening, members of the council. I have two items for your consideration. R26824 is a resolution authorizing the department to purchase 5 Chevy Malibus from Pellegrino Chevrolet not to exceed $133,053.75. R6924 is a resolution to enter into a contract agreement with Above All Lines, which is a city entity, to remodel and renovation of 3 bathrooms at the Plainfield Police Department in an amount not to exceed $25,750. That's all I have.
Okay, any questions from council colleagues?
Yes.
Go right ahead, Councilwoman Sims.
Regarding 268-24, the request is for 5, is that correct, Director?
Yes, ma'am.
But if I read it correctly, in the last paragraph of the resolution, did it say 3?
That is correct. That's a typo.
Okay. And then regarding 269-24, the renovations for the bathrooms.
Yes, ma'am.
Are the bathrooms currently ADA compliant? And if not, with the renovations, will they be made ADA compliant?
The bathrooms are ADA compliant. The actual building is on a waiver because of the situation with the steps here at the court. But you can get in through the front door of the department. The issue is that there's no elevator in this building, so it creates a problem with being ADA compliant, but the bathrooms themselves will be.
Thank you, Director.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Anyone else?
Council President?
Yes, Councilman Wyatt?
Yes, Director. Will
Yes,
the
sir.
vehicles be used for the patrol,
No, these vehicles will be used for extra duty jobs.
extra duty jobs? Okay.
Yeah,
All
we,
right.
we have a commitment we have to honor there, so they're all going to extra duty jobs.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else? Okay, do we have consensus to add these items to the voting meeting?
Yes.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition or abstentions? Hearing none, please add these to the voting meeting, okay? All right, thanks. All right, the Department of Public Works is next. Director, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Council President, members of the council. The Department of Public Works has one resolution to present. Resolution 270-24, resolution for 19 liens totaling $12,873.43 for clean and lien properties.
Good. Questions? All right, do we have consensus to add these to the voting meeting?
So moved.
Any opposition or abstentions? All right, go ahead and add these to the voting meeting as well. Let's see, economic development. Go right ahead.
Good evening, Council President
Good
and Council. The first resolution, 271-24, this is to enter into a no-cost agreement with Flowbird. This will allow us to add the pay-by-text service to the app, that for people that don't have smartphones, they will be able to pay by text. The next resolution, 272-224, this is to conduct a non-condemnation redevelopment study for the two properties. The first one is located 342 to 352 Leland Avenue. The next one is 1135 to 37 North Avenue. These are both owned by Vision of God Church. They made the request for us to do the study. In connection to looking at Resolution 273-24, this is to put these properties into a redevelopment plan. The two properties from the previous resolution would be considered with the other Leland Avenue properties here for redevelopment. The next resolution, R 274-24. This is to direct the planning board to develop a redevelopment plan for the two properties, one being 614 to 620 Lee Place, the next one being 534 to 536 South Avenue. The next resolution is also to develop a redevelopment plan. To clarify, this would be for condemnation. This is for the condemnation of three properties, one being 701 to 711 Kensington Avenue. The next one, 715 to 725 Arlington Avenue. And the third would be 501 to 515 West 7th Street. If you recall, in August, property maintenance condemned the property based on health and safety of the occupancy, meaning that the tenants had to vacate. This would be a different condemnation. This is based on a property. So a redevelopment study was conducted. The planning board found cause to condemn the property and is now recommending that to council. That would include eminent domain powers. The eminent domain of ownership is a separate process that will take an additional 6 months after we go through this process. So where we are now is that it's being recommended to council to prepare the plan. It will have to go back to the planning board to develop and approve and recommend the plan, then come back to council, and it will have to go through 2 readings for adoption. So we are looking at a total of 10 months for this. The final resolution is to amend and restate a redevelopment agreement between SRV Redevelopment LLC. These properties are known as the City Village properties. This started with the 321 East 3rd Street property. This is to adjust the number of units. They have also agreed to add 20% workforce affordable units, totaling a total of 237 affordable units. We are adjusting the parking number. It will be a total of 1,205 parking spaces and a little over 50,000 square feet of commercial retail. That concludes my presentation, Council President.
Thank you. Let me just ask about the 275-24. It's condemnation, so, many would be concerned about condemnation powers and ensuring that the city, when, only condemns in instances where it's absolutely necessary. Can you first talk about procedurally whether the council voting on this is the actual condemnation, or is it just to declare it a redevelopment area, a condemnation to redevelopment area?
So this is to authorize the planning board to develop a redevelopment plan. This will not give us eminent domain power yet. We still have to go through that procedure.
Okay.
That was the additional separate 6 months.
So in your view, what instances would you recommend condemnation? What prongs or key things would have to exist for you to think that condemnation should be appropriate?
Well, first, the property was condemned for property maintenance violation for health and safety issues. The property owner is not been responsive in improving the property, so this gives the city the right to assume the property and go through the eminent domain power.
So, so we haven't heard anything from this owner?
No.
Council President, I'm sorry, I have to interject this point. If this matter is currently under litigation, I would recommend that if there are additional questions with regard to these properties, we can exclude the public and go into closed session. But I would, if we want to talk about the process generally, we can certainly do that. I would just refrain because I don't want to prejudice us in any way in the ongoing litigation.
Okay, I didn't realize that it was a subject of litigation. Okay, all right. So you answered my questions regarding the general process and when you'd like to.
Corporate counsel, may I answer the question about when we go through a redevelopment study, how the property owners are notified?
Absolutely, that's fine. Anything process-related, I don't think would impact our litigation in any way. Thank you.
Go right ahead.
So when we do a study of any property, we notify the property owner through certified mail to let them know that we were going to do a site visit.
Okay. My colleagues have any questions about any of the items brought by Economic Development?
Yes, Thank you, Council President. That same issue, what's the time frame for condemnation? Is that?
Sure. So for us to go through the process of going back and forth between your approval and the planning board's approval, conducting the study, developing the plan, it takes roughly 6 months. Then it takes another 6 months to go through the eminent domain process.
Thank you.
Council Vice President?
Yes, regarding R 272-24 and 273-24, the property owned by Visions of God in that area on Leland and North. I believe that area is in a flood zone, and there's a lot that cannot be done because there isn't an evacuation plan. And so the purpose of these studies is to actually do what when we know so much about that area as far as what can't be done?
So the purpose of the study is to determine whether or not the area is in need of redevelopment. So our first criteria is just to judge whether we can move forward with redevelopment of the area. So it is in a flood zone. In terms of approval of the different uses, one is going to be based on the city, but it's also subject to the approval of the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection.
Right, right. I guess, I don't know if this is a question for you, but do you see them making any changes to the area as far as, does it deserve to be in a flood zone? You know, has anything changed? Will they change their mind at some point, or is it just going to always be in a flood zone?
So the flood zone is decided by the data from the American Engineer Corporation of Engineers, and that is left to the discretion of the Department of Environmental Protection.
Okay, yeah. I remember being on the zoning board many, many years ago, and there was an elaborate plan for residential development there, and it was really nice, but it was struck down because of it being in a flood zone. So I hope that we can really do something with that area. Thank you. I'm done.
Any other colleagues have questions?
Council President,
Go right ahead, Councilwoman Sessoms.
275-24, regarding the 3 properties listed, do all 3 of them have the same owner, or are there 3 separate owners?
All of them have the same owner, the same LLC.
Thank you.
Councilman Wyatt?
Yes, I had several questions prepared, however, thank you for speaking up and letting us know that it's in litigation. I do have some unreadiness, however. Why are we voting on this to move forward if we don't know the status of the litigation? Those questions were not answered for us, but here, proposal is in front of us to vote to move forward with this, and we don't even know the status of the litigation.
I can do, Council President, may I address that? When the questions were raised about the status of the properties, cleanup, habitability, those are questions that I would refrain from discussing because of that. That is basically the essence of the litigation. If there's questions about what's on this resolution, which is really about whether or not the council would like to send this to the planning board to do a review to determine whether or not it meets the statutory criteria for designation of an area in need of redevelopment, those questions are all appropriate. All I would recommend is that you refrain from any questions doing specifically with the habitability of the properties. So I'm sorry I don't know your questions. I'm happy to go offline. If you have specific questions, I can answer them for you. Or we can, being that this is the infancy stage of redevelopment, Council President, we can always have a subsequent closed session on this matter if you'd like. I hope that helps.
Okay, no, it definitely helps. I don't know if I'm prepared to vote on this, only because there's questions that I need answers in order to make a vote. Feel free to stop me. I don't think the questions are out of line, but if you feel anything that's in the gray area, feel free to stop me.
Thank you.
I'm just going over the timeline itself, so I know initially we condemned the properties because of the state that they were in, correct? I'm okay with that?
Yeah, but that's a different condemnation, though. Yes, you understand, yeah, so that's
the
not
first
any
portion.
condemnation that would come out of a redevelopment designation.
Yes, so I'm just trying to go over the timeline itself. So we condemned the property at first because of the state that it was in, correct?
That's correct, yes.
All right, and then the second part, we attempted to receive, go through the legal matters to have receivership from Cyclone. However, we were denied in court from that portion, correct?
That matters, we were preliminarily denied, but that matter's still pending in court.
Okay, so now we're proposing to designate these same properties under a condemnation redevelopment plan. So this one, it just seems suspicious. It just seems suspicious.
Okay. I think if there's any opportunity for a closed session at any point in the future, we'd be welcome to do that, yeah, okay.
Council President,
Yes.
I would like to propose that we go into closed session for the specific purpose of discussing this item.
When?
Would you like to do it after the recess,
That'll work.
before we come back from the recess?
Sure.
So we'll
Okay.
recess and go into closed session and reconvene.
Okay. Were there any other questions from council colleagues?
I just had a general question, just a general question.
Go right ahead.
For 272-24 and 273-24. When you were saying they were going to put under the, directing the planning board to prepare a redevelopment plan, just a real quick question, will there be any more apartments put up as a result of this?
Partner, so for 272-24, this is a partnership with the Vision of God Church, and then the Leland Avenue property that's owned, everything that's listed for Block 405 that's Leland Avenue related is one property owner. So Vision of God Church is in partnership with that property owner.
Okay, so there won't be any more apartments put up?
You said partners.
Apartments.
So these are one is to develop a redevelopment plan.
Okay.
So the uses in that plan haven't been identified. The resolution 272-24 is just to study the area. So we haven't made a decision about what the uses are going to be. That's going to be recommended in the plan.
Thank you.
Council President, after consultation with the administration, we would respectfully request that the chambers be cleared for a closed session immediately or at any point prior to any vote on this matter, if the council president would allow that, for a closed session until this, and to allow for a closed session to discuss this matter until it is resolved.
Yeah, that'll happen after the recess.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions regarding this item? All right, so we'll remove the item in contention from we'll vote on that separately. Besides that one, which number was that for reference? Let me see.
R 275-24.
Okay. So is there a consensus to add all other items besides R 275-25 to the voting meeting and consent agenda?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Any oppositions or abstentions? Okay, we have it. Department of Health and Social Services, please, go right ahead.
Good evening, Council President. The department has 3 resolutions. 277 is recognized in June 2024 as Men's Health Month. R-278 is a resolution authorizing the submission and acceptance of a grant from the New Jersey Department of Corrections for reintegration services for returning citizens. And that is aimed to reduce recidivism and not to exceed $100,000. The 4 points that this grant is highlighting is holistic support services, which is case management, education and skill development, mental health and counseling services, and community engagement. Resolution 279 is a resolution of the city recognizing June 19th, which is also Juneteenth, as Sickle Cell Disease, World Sickle Cell Disease Day. And on that day, City Hall will be lit in red, and we're asking people or groups, families, congregations, to take pictures of themselves in front of City Hall while it's lit in red, and then we will have those sent back to the city and create a collage. Those are my resolutions.
Okay, any questions from council members? Okay, do we have consensus to add these to the voting meeting?
Yes.
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 All right. Any opposition or abstentions?
Council President, I abstain from 278-24, having filed a recusal with the State Ethics Board.
Okay, that shall be noted. 278-24.
So that'll be voted on separately.
Okay. All right, Department of Sewer and Solid Waste.
Good evening, Council President, Council. I have one resolution for your consideration tonight, 280-24. It's a resolution to award a contract to Coppola Services. This is to renovate the Watchung Pump Station and Force Main Replacement Project in an amount of $2,526,890.
Okay, any questions from council colleagues? Hearing and seeing none, do we have consensus to add this to the voting meeting?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Any opposition or?
We know that Director Louise has been absent for an extended period of time due to illness. I just want to welcome him back to the council meeting.
Really appreciate it. Thank you, Mayor.
And wish him well.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. That should be added to the voting meeting consent agenda. We now move to ordinances on first reading. BA, please present the ordinances listed.
Yes. Okay, we have 5 ordinances on this evening. The first is a traffic calming measure that we're looking to implement, a 4-way stop at West 6th and Lee. Then we have 3 redevelopment ordinances. The first one is an amendment to the financial agreement with TODD West. The second one is an ordinance adopting the TODN North Ave redevelopment plan. And the third one about redevelopment is granting a tax exemption with respect to certain properties identified on the tax map as Block 624, Lot 1, and designated in the city tax records as 1203-1211 South Ave. And also that ordinance is also authorizing the execution of a financial agreement with IOP Plainfield. Then we have an ordinance to update the shade tree replacement and removal ordinance. We're going to just differentiate the process of removing a street tree versus removing a non-street tree. So it's just updating that to add that information.
Okay, council colleagues. Councilman Wyatt?
You just automatically know I was going to say something.
I saw your hand motion for the mic.
All right, on, what is it, MC 2024-37. So my question is, when are we going to draw the line? Yet again, we have another 30-year tax break for a developer. I'm beginning to feel like we're Oprah Winfrey. It's like, you get a 30-year tax break, you get a 30-year tax break, everybody gets a 30-year tax break. And just to quote, I did hear in the past that we have over $1 billion in investment in the city. Processes have been changed to make things more smoother in the city of Plainfield. Long gone are the days where it was difficult to do business in the city of Plainfield. So why are we still offering max incentives in order for developers to come here? That's the part, I don't understand that.
Mr. President, I will respond.
Sure, go right ahead.
And the answer is very simple. We have an opportunity to redevelop the city, or we can choose not to. We have vacant, abandoned, blighted sites across our city, and we have an option to do something or to do nothing. And if we want X% of nothing, that's okay. But if we want X% of something big, I think that's better. It's better for the city because it transforms blighted spaces into places of beauty, inviting, causing people to want to come into our city. And if there's an opportunity for the city without development to collect $2.5 million over 30 years, without development, as opposed to development and collect $35 million, I will choose development and $35 million. And that is what I will continue to present to you, the members of the governing body. It makes sense to us, to our administration, that we continue to go down this path of economic redevelopment because it generates millions and millions and millions of dollars in revenues. It transforms blighted spaces into productive places and provide opportunities of employment. It just does everything that the city wants. And if the council doesn't want redevelopment, if it doesn't want $35 million over 30 years as opposed to $2,500,000, then I say you should vote it down. But if you want development, and if it makes sense for the city to have $35 million over 30 years versus $2.5 million, I ask you to please vote in the affirmative.
Council President?
Go right ahead.
Yes, just one more question. So my question was, why a 30-year tax incentive for a developer? So I understand 2.5 million over 30 years versus what you said, 35 million was the number? So do we have the number if it was conventionally taxed with development as well? So 2.5 is as it is now, but this is a proposal for a new development. So if that was taxed the conventional way, what is that number?
And the answer is simple. The project wouldn't get done. Financial institutions wouldn't fund the project. The space will remain blighted as it is, and today, the project will not get done. Simple. If you look across the city at all of these projects that have been done over the last 7 or 8 years, whether it's South Avenue, whether it's North Avenue, Front Street, South 2nd Street, wherever these projects have occurred, without the only incentive that municipalities, other than Class 1 municipalities, such as Newark and Jersey City, they have other incentives, other ways to incentivize development and to generate revenues from taxation. We don't have those. All we have, the other 562 municipalities, except those 2 Class 1 municipalities, the only incentive that we have to spur development is a payment in lieu of taxes. We have nothing else.
Okay, so my question is not being answered. So I know that this is done on a case-by-case. These are negotiated case-by-case. So every time that it comes before us, we have to give the max a 30-year tax break to developers? That's the only way a project could get done?
Tax breaks, we give incentives for development. And so if you are thinking if you're thinking in those terms, then we are not. We are not. We are looking at, and if it's semantics, then so be it. But we provide economic redevelopment incentives to the plethora of developers that have been coming to the city to help us to transform the city. And we do that because we know it makes sense, and that without those economic incentives to developers, they will not come, the projects will not get done, and we'll be driving across a city with blighted spaces that would dot the landscape. And that's not what this administration wants, and I hope it's not what the governing body wants.
I had a question. For MC, I'm sorry.
Go, no, go right ahead.
Are you, for MC 2024-37, Mayor, when do you project stabilization for this project? Is it usually in year 2 or is it usually year 3? And being a new councilwoman, help me.
Mayor, it occurs in near year 3, so.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. All right, do we have consensus to add these items to the voting meeting?
Yes.
Yes.
With the exception of MC 2024-37.
Okay, can that one be removed? Vote on separately?
Yes, all ordinances are voted on separately.
So there it is.
Consensus, yes.
Okay. All right, we'll now motion for a 5-minute recess. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Council President, we'll be having a closed session
Recording stopped.
after
When we
that.
come back.
Okay.
Recording in progress.
Can you please read the resolution for us entering into executive session?
The Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law of 1975, authorizes a public body to exclude the public from the portion of a meeting at which specified topics will clearly endanger the public interest or where the personal privacy or guaranteed rights of individuals whose activities or affairs are to be discussed would be clearly in danger of unwarranted invasion. And whereas the matters about to be presented for discussion clearly meet the circumstances test of such act, now therefore be it resolved that the Municipal Council of the City of Plainfield in the County of Union now adjourns its public session to reconvene an executive session for the purpose of discussing the following: contract negotiations. Be it further resolved that the discussion in executive session will be disclosed in the minutes to be released at the next regular city council meeting, provided that consideration of the subject matter has been closed, or that where such matters adversely affect the rights of prospective, current, or past public officers or personnel of the City of Plainfield, such individuals have in writing requested the disclosure of such discussion at a public meeting, and provided such public disclosure will no longer clearly endanger that public interest. Be it further resolved that the public is now hereby excluded from the executive session
For pending litigation, if I could just say.
for pending litigation.
Okay, thank you. So.
In progress.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to return to regular business.
So moved. Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, any oppositions or abstentions? We are back. All right, we'll first move to resolutions. Public hearing, second reading, and final passage. Consideration of public hearing, second reading, and final passage. Madam Deputy, please read MC 2024-24 by title and further certify that the ordinance has complied with the statutory publication requirements.
MC 2024-24 is an ordinance of the City of Plainfield and the County of Union, amending and supplementing Chapter 5, Animals, specifically Article 7, Rules and Regulations Concerning Animals, requiring the proper disposal of pet solid waste. It is hereby certified that notice of a public hearing on this ordinance was published in the Courier News on May 14th, 2024.
The floor is now open to any member of the public who would like to speak regarding this ordinance specifically. Ms. Jones, let me know if there's anyone online. But hearing and seeing none, I'll close the floor for public hearing on this ordinance. May I have that motion? The close
So
vote.
moved.
Second.
Okay. May I have a motion to adopt this ordinance on second reading and final passage? And if adopted, the ordinance shall be published as required by law.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, clerk, can I have a roll call?
Council members Briggs Jones,
Yes.
Cherry,
Yes.
McCray,
Yes.
Sessoms,
Yes.
Wyatt,
Yes.
Vice President Graham,
Yes.
Council President Hockaday.
Yes.
That is unanimous. This ordinance has been adopted on second reading and final passage.
Okay, Madam Deputy, please read MC 2024-25 by title and further certify it's complied with the law.
MC 2024-25 is an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 16, Vehicles and Traffic, Article 5, limiting the use of streets to certain class of vehicles, subsection 16:5-1, trucks over 4 tons excluded from certain streets. It is hereby certified that notice of a public hearing on this ordinance was published in the Courier News on May 14th, 2024.
Okay, the floor is now open to any member of the public who would like to speak on this ordinance specifically. Floor is open. Hearing and seeing none online, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. May I have a motion to adopt this ordinance on second reading and final passage?
So moved. Second.
Clerk, may I have a roll call?
Council members Briggs Jones.
Yes.
Cherry,
Yes.
McCray,
Yes.
Sessoms.
Yes.
Wyatt,
Yes.
Graham,
Yes.
Council President Hockaday.
Yes.
That is unanimous. This ordinance has been adopted on second reading and final passage.
Madam Deputy, MC 2024-26, please.
MC 2024-26 is an ordinance for a 4-way stop intersection at Stanley Place and West Fifth Street, and 3-way stop at Charlotte Road and Mayfair Way, to amend and supplement Chapter 16, Vehicles and Traffic, Article 7, through streets, stop intersections, stop and yield intersections, designating certain 4-way stop and 3-way stop intersections. It is hereby certified that notice of a public hearing on this ordinance was published in the Courier News on May 14th, 2024.
Okay, the floor is now open to any member of the public who would like to speak regarding this ordinance specifically. Hearing and seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to close public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. May I have a motion to adopt this ordinance on second reading and final passage?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, clerk.
Council members Briggs Jones.
Yes.
Cherry,
Yes.
McCray,
Yes.
Sessoms.
Yes.
Wyatt,
Yes.
Vice President Graham,
Yes.
Council President Hockaday.
Yes.
This ordinance has been adopted on second reading and final passage.
Okay, Madam Clerk, MC 2024-27, please.
MC 2024-27 is an ordinance of the City of Plainfield and the County of Union adopting the TODD South redevelopment plan amendment dated May 2nd, 2024. It is hereby certified that notice of a public hearing on this ordinance was published in the Courier News on May 14th, 2024.
Okay, the floor is now open to any member of the public who would like to speak regarding MC 2024-27. Hearing and seeing none, I entertain a motion to close public hearing.
Second.
Okay, and now may I have a motion to adopt this ordinance on second reading and final passage?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Council members Briggs Jones.
Yes.
Cherry.
Yes.
McCray.
Yes.
Sessoms.
Yes.
Wyatt.
Yes.
Vice President Graham.
Yes.
Council President Hockaday.
Yes,
This ordinance has been adopted on second reading and final passage.
thank you. MC 2024-28, please.
MC 2024-28 is an ordinance of the City of Plainfield, County of Union, New Jersey, adopting the West End Industrial Corridor Redevelopment Plan Amendment dated May 2nd, 2024. It is hereby certified that notice of a public hearing on this ordinance was published in the Courier News on May 14th, 2024.
Okay, the floor is now open to any member of the public who'd like to speak regarding this ordinance specifically. Hearing and seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to close public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Now, may I have a motion to adopt this ordinance on second reading and final passage?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Council members Briggs Jones.
Yes.
Cherry.
Yes.
McCray.
Yes.
Sessoms.
Yes.
Wyatt.
Yes.
Vice President Graham.
Yes.
Council President Hockaday.
Yes,
This ordinance has been adopted on second reading and final passage.
thank you. Madam Clerk, MC 2024-29, please.
MC 2024-29 is an ordinance of the City of Plainfield and the County of Union adopting the West Front Street and Clinton Avenue redevelopment plan amendment dated May 2nd, 2024. It is hereby certified that notice of a public hearing on this ordinance was published in the Courier News on May 14th, 2024.
The floor is now open to any member of the public who'd like to speak regarding this ordinance specifically. Hearing and seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to close public hearing.
So moved. Second.
Okay, now may I have a motion to adopt this ordinance on second reading and final passage?
Moved. Second.
Clerk, roll call.
Council members Briggs Jones.
Yes.
Cherry.
Yes.
McCray.
Yes.
Sessoms.
Yes.
Wyatt.
Yes.
Vice President Graham.
Yes.
Council President Hockaday.
Yes.
This ordinance has been adopted on second reading and final passage.
Okay, Clerk, MC 2024-30, please.
MC 2024-30 is an ordinance of the City of Plainfield, County of Union, New Jersey, adopting the Ninth Amendment to the 197 Scattered Sites Redevelopment Plan dated May 2nd, 2024. It is hereby certified that notice of a public hearing on this ordinance was published in the Courier News on May 14th, 2024.
Okay, and now's the option for that public hearing. And any members of the public who'd like to speak regarding this ordinance? Seeing and hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, now may I have a motion to adopt this ordinance on second reading and final passage?
So moved.
Second.
May we have a roll call?
Council members Briggs Jones.
Yes.
Cherry.
Yes.
McCray.
Yes.
Sessoms.
Yes.
Wyatt.
Yes.
Vice President Graham.
Yes.
Council President Hockaday.
Yes,
This ordinance has been adopted on second reading and final passage.
thank you. Madam Clerk, MC 2024-31, please.
MC 2024-31 is an ordinance of the City of Plainfield, County of Union, New Jersey, amending Chapter 17, the Land Use Ordinance, Article 13, Section 17:13-20, deposits and escrow, payments to professionals for review of subdivision, site plan, and variance applications before the Planning Board and Zoning Board of Adjustment. It is hereby certified that notice of a public hearing on this ordinance was published in the Courier News on May 14th, 2024.
Okay. The floor is now open for any member of the public who'd like to speak regarding this ordinance. Hearing and seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to close public hearing.
So moved. Second.
Okay, and I'll now entertain a motion to adopt this ordinance on second reading and final passage.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Council members Briggs Jones.
Yes.
Cherry.
Yes.
McCray.
Yes.
Sessoms.
Yes.
Wyatt.
Yes.
Vice President Graham.
Yes.
Council President Hockaday.
Yes.
That is unanimous. This ordinance has been adopted on second reading and final passage.
Okay, Clerk, MC 24-32, please.
MC 2024-32 is an ordinance to amend Chapter 9, Licenses, Permits, and Regulated Activities, creating Article 16, Film Permit Required. It is hereby certified that notice of a public hearing on this ordinance was published in the Courier News on May 14th, 2024.
public hearing on this motion will be entertained now. Hearing and seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to close public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Question.
Now, may I have a motion to adopt this ordinance on second reading and final passage?
There was
So moved.
a question.
Oh, what a question?
Yes, I have a
Go right
question
ahead.
on that. The MC 2024-32, I took some notes earlier. I wanted to know about the rates, 'cause I know there is a certain rates for the permits, but I wanted to know about the rates in the surrounding areas. Do we have any rates that's comparable with other municipalities? And also, who decides on the rates for the permits?
I don't have any other rates available to speak to, but essentially you guys decide on the rate. We bring it to you and then you vote on it.
Okay. All right. You said you have none to compare? No,
I don't
no,
have a comparison.
no. Okay, that's it.
Okay. We have a motion to adopt this ordinance on second reading and final passage.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, clerk, may we have a roll call?
Council members Briggs Jones.
Yes.
Cherry.
Yes.
McCray.
Yes.
Sessoms.
Yes.
Wyatt.
Yes.
Vice President Graham.
Yes.
Council President Hockaday.
Yes.
That is unanimous. This ordinance has been adopted on second reading and final passage.
Madam Clerk, MC 2024-33, please.
MC 2024-33 is an ordinance of the City of Plainfield and the County of Union, amending Article 12, Department of Public Affairs and Safety, Police, Chapter 2:12-9, assignment for off-duty private or quasi-public functions. It is hereby certified that notice of a public hearing on this ordinance was published in the Courier News on May 14th, 2024.
Floor is now open to any member of the public who'd like to speak regarding this ordinance. Hearing and seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to close public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, now I'll entertain a motion to adopt this ordinance on second reading and final passage.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Council members Briggs Jones.
Yes.
Cherry.
Yes.
McCray.
Yes.
Sessoms.
Yes.
Wyatt.
Yes.
Vice President Graham.
Yes.
Council President Hockaday.
Yes.
That is unanimous. This ordinance has been adopted on second reading and final passage.
Okay, that concludes that. We now move to public comments limited to resolutions, motions, and ordinances to be introduced on first reading. A total of 30 minutes has been allocated for such public comments. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes. If you would like to call in, the number is on the website or listed on the screen in YouTube. Please give your name and address for the record. Identify the resolution and ordinance that you wish to speak about. The floor is now open.
Good evening. Maria and Sari, Watchung Avenue. Are you entertaining questions about R265 and 275? You went into session about that.
Not questions, but you can give public comment about it.
Comments?
Yes.
Yes, okay. 26524, a lien for 70,000. If I'm correct, Cyclone owns the majority of the properties up for condemnation. 70,000 is a drop in the bucket that wouldn't even renovate a couple of the floors. In fact, the attorney fees may well eat up most of that. On R275, maybe I don't understand the differences in condemnation, but if it means taking down the entire structure, at least 3 of these structures, I'm not familiar with Kensington, are solid brick built early 19th century. You still see many of them in cities, Milburn, Summit, even New York City, Bergen County. These are solid structures. I would wonder why they can't be internally gutted and renovated rather than totally taken down. I don't believe anything as solid or frankly as attractive once it's cleaned up could be rebuilt. My last comment, 28024. It seems to me that there is always major work going on at the Watchung Pump Station, and I just wonder when the last major renovation was done. The expense of $2.5 million, I hope, is going to go out for a long period of time. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, name and address for the record and the resolution.
Good evening, Gail Jones, 512 Style Avenue. Mine is in regards to MC 2024-38, the first reading. And nowhere in that does it have amendment, anything's told for developers to, trees to be put in for development, or what happens to a developer that takes down trees when the developing is happening. I'm on the Shade Tree Commission. I was there when we wrote it out, and it is not in it. So I don't know what happened between the time that we wrote this out to say that a developer has to be assessed for this, because if we're doing this plan, and I agree with Councilman Wyatt about the fact, why are we saying 30 years? Why not 20 years? If you're coming in, because as you know, all these apartments that are going up, there is no trees around, and they've taken down dozens of them. And does the developer now fall into this new amendment saying that they have to replace trees? Where is it happening with developers? Because it says corporations, but developers, we specifically said developers had to be addressed in this issue, and it was not done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nancy Pivar, 1129 Myrtle Avenue. I also want to talk about MC 2024-38. I call it the tree tax. The way this is reading, it's putting a lot of onus on an individual property owner. It seems to be more on a resident than, as Ms. Jones talked about, developer. You do have a definition for person, meaning any individual, resident, corporation, utility, company, partnership, and firm or association. But there's nothing in here that talks about business owners or developers. But the definition for resident means any individual who resides on a residential property or contractor hired by the individual who resides on the residential property where a tree regulated by this ordinance is removed or proposed to be removed. I know that the state is probably mandating this, but to me, it's a tree tax. A lot of the trees on my property, my father and myself never planted them. They were dropped by the birds, and they just grew and grew and grew. So now I'm going to have to, apply for a permit, depending on the size, from anywhere from $75 to whatever it is, $150, to take down a tree on top of taking it down. So I would hope that you would look at this and add more definitions for developers and business owners, because they also have trees that they're going to take down. If you're going to make me do a permit and you're going to give me a tax, they should be taxed also. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, hearing and seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to close public comments.
So moved.
All right. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition or abstentions? Okay. Public comments for resolutions is now closed. Mr. Clerk, would you please read the consent agenda?
Yes, Council President. The consent agenda items are identified as resolutions 256 through 274-24, Resolution 276, Resolution 277 through 279, and Resolution 280-24. Not on the consent agenda, Resolutions 275-24 and Resolution 278-24.
Okay, may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second.
All those in favor? Oh, or you want a roll call?
Roll call.
Roll call, please. Go right ahead.
Council members Briggs Jones.
Yes.
Cherry.
Yes.
McCray.
Yes.
Sessoms.
Yes.
Wyatt.
Yes.
Vice President Graham.
Yes.
Council President Hockaday.
Yes.
Consent agenda items have been approved.
Okay, please proceed with the non-consent.
Resolution 275-24 is a resolution directing the planning board to prepare a redevelopment plan.
Okay. Any questions? May I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
May I have a roll call?
Roll call on Resolution 275-24. Council members Briggs Jones.
Yes.
Cherry.
Yes.
McCray.
Yes.
Sessoms.
Yes.
Wyatt.
No.
Vice President Graham.
Yes.
Council President Hockaday.
Yes.
6 in favor, 1 opposed. Resolution passes. Resolution 278-24 is a resolution authorizing the submission of a grant from the New Jersey Department of Corrections.
Okay, can I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Can we have a roll call?
Council members Briggs Jones.
Yes.
Cherry.
Yes.
McCray.
Yes.
Sessoms.
Abstain.
Wyatt.
No.
Vice President Graham.
Yes.
Council President Hockaday.
Yes.
5 in favor, 1 abstention, 1 in the opposition. Resolution passes.
Okay, next. Is that it?
That concludes resolutions.
All right. Let's see. Okay, we now move to items on first reading. Madam Deputy, please proceed.
MC 2024-34, an ordinance for a four-way stop intersection at West 6th Street and Lee Place Way to amend and supplement Chapter 16, Vehicles and Traffic, Article 7, through streets, stop intersections, stop and yield intersections, designating certain four-way stop and three-way stop intersections.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adopt this on first reading.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, may I have a roll call?
Roll call MC 2024-34. Council members Briggs Jones.
Yes.
Cherry.
Yes.
McCray.
Yes.
Sessoms.
Yes.
Wyatt.
Yes.
Vice President Graham.
Yes.
Council President Hockaday.
Yes.
This ordinance has been introduced on first reading.
Okay, thank you. Madam Deputy, please read MC 2024-35.
MC 2024-35 is an ordinance authorizing the First Amendment of the financial agreement with TODD West Urban Renewal LLC with respect to certain property identified as Block 245, Lot 1, and Block 247, Lots 1, 2.017, a portion of 8 and 9 through 11 on the official tax map of the city.
I'll entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
Okay, may we have a roll call?
Roll call MC 2024-35. Council members Briggs Jones.
Yes.
Cherry.
Yes.
McCray.
Yes.
Sessoms.
Yes.
Wyatt.
Yes.
Vice President Graham.
Yes.
Council President Hockaday.
Yes.
This ordinance has been introduced on first reading.
Okay, Madam Deputy, 2024-36, please.
MC 2024-36 is an ordinance of the City of Plainfield, County of Union, New Jersey, adopting the TODN North Avenue redevelopment plan dated June 6, 2024.
I'll entertain a motion and a second.
So moved.
Okay, can we have a roll call?
Roll call MC 2024-36. Council members Briggs Jones.
Yes.
Cherry.
Yes.
McCray.
Yes.
Sessoms.
Yes.
Wyatt.
Yes.
Vice President Graham.
Yes.
Council President Hockaday.
Yes.
This ordinance has been introduced on first reading.
Okay, Madam Clerk.
MC 2024-37 is an ordinance of the City of Plainfield in the County of Union granting a tax exemption with respect to certain property identified on the city's tax map as Block 624, Lot 1, and designated in the city tax records as 1203-1211 South Avenue, Plainfield, New Jersey, and authorizing the execution of a financial agreement with IOP Plainfield 1203 South Urban Renewal LLC.
Can we have a motion and a second?
So move.
Second. Can we have a roll call?
Roll call MC 2024-37, council members Briggs Jones.
Yes.
Cherry.
Yes.
McCray.
Yes.
Sessoms.
Yes.
Wyatt.
No.
Vice President Graham.
Yes.
Council President Hockaday.
Yes.
6 in favor, 1 opposed. Ordinance has been introduced on first reading.
Please read MC 2024-38.
MC 2024-38 is an ordinance of the City of Plainfield and the County of Union creating Chapter 17, Article 9, Section 49D, titled Shade Tree Replacement and Removal, to establish an application process for the replacement and removal of shade trees.
I'll entertain a motion and a second.
Question.
Go right ahead.
Is the administration willing to entertain adding the business owners, developers, the language that was spoken about at the mic before next month?
This ordinance is related to property owners. We actually have different requirements for developers that's required when you go through the site plan presented to the planning board. So there is a requirement for open space and planting, and the shade tree reviews all of their developments.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, roll call, please.
Need a motion and a second?
Thought we had
So
it.
move. Second.
Roll call.
Council members Briggs Jones.
No.
Cherry.
Yes.
McCray.
Yes.
Sessoms.
Yes.
Wyatt.
Yes.
Vice President Graham.
Yes.
Council President Hockaday.
Yes.
6 in favor, 1 opposed. MC 2024-38 has been introduced on first reading.
Thank you. Total of 30 minutes has been allocated for all public comments. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes. If you'd like to call in, the number is listed on the screen at YouTube. Please give your name and address for the record. The floor is now open.
Excuse me, Council President.
Yes.
As we await them coming up to the floor, I would like to amend my vote. I made a mistake and wrote down the wrong one. You want me to wait for that?
Go right ahead.
Okay, R 278-24. I said no, I meant to say yes on that one. I wrote the wrong one down. Sorry for the confusion.
That's 278-24. You're changing your vote to yes.
Yes.
Okay. Welcome. The floor is yours.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Marianne Sari, Watchung Avenue. First, thank you for continuing the pledge to the flag and an invocation. It really is a very unifying feeling, so I appreciate it. Thank you. Now we go into what's not so unifying. It's that time again. The sports hunters of Union County are revving up to use our few remaining green places, Cedar Brook Park, Greenbrook Park, and potentially Cushing Basin for their sports hunting. Every year for 6 years now, 3 very privileged employees of county municipality get to use our site. They are not Plainfield residents. With the trees dying in our parks, the open space, it becomes very visible. You can see the hunter in his tree stand. They bait the deer. They sit in their tree stand. When the deer come, they crossbow. The rate of failure of a crossbow is 50%. That's a Hunter quote, not my quote. Last year, the county required that Plainfield approve hunting in the parks. It was never brought up at council. All of the investigation I attempted to do did not show it brought up anywhere else. So, come December, the county put those ugly yellow signs up in Greenbrook and Cedar Brook and assigned their 3 guys. And what we saw during the winter was blood, flesh, the fur of deer. On December 1st, right near Cushing, 2 deer were seen with arrows in them, the walking wounded. We have no idea what became of them. It's really time. It is not helping. It's not correcting. And we are trying to be humane. Please stop the hunting.
Thank you. You can clap. Anyone else?
Buenas noches, mi nombre es Marta Lucía Gómez, trabajo como organizadora de Wind of the Spirit, la 225 Watchung Avenue, Plainfield, y estoy esta noche con un miembro de la organización que trae un saludo.
Move a little
para
closer
ustedes.
to the mic. Proxima microphone. Closer to the baffle.
Mi nombre es Wilson Peñafiel. Yo vivo en la 384 Somerset Avenue, Plainfield, North Plainfield. Soy miembro de la comunidad ecuatoriana y agradezco a usted, señor alcalde, y sus concejales por su respaldo para el TPS para Ecuador. Gracias.
Gracias. Y junto con este saludo del compañero Wilson, nosotros como organización estamos impulsando y respaldando la iniciativa del TPS para Guatemala. Es por eso que una compañera que está acá también de Guatemala y estamos solicitando al señor alcalde y a toda la mesa de concejales su respaldo, por favor, con esta carta que estamos circulando para este alivio migratorio de la comunidad de Guatemala. Gracias.
Thank you. You can provide the letter to our city clerk.
Nancy Pugh, 1129 Myrtle Avenue. All the boards, counselors, mayor, everybody, administrators, all the commissions and boards in this city, they make decisions that are going to impact future generations. And I really want to commend tonight. Recently, I was at a couple of Board of Adjustment meetings, and I really want to commend the Zoning Board of Adjustment because they have been asking some really good questions. There's a lot that's not in their purview, but, and I can't go into the cases because they haven't been settled yet, but it's been very disconcerting to me to be there to hear that construction codes have changed since I was a kid. I always thought you needed to have, when you built a building, you needed to have 2 egresses. Well, that's not necessarily the case. And I do commend the Zoning Board of Adjustment for bringing that to my attention. And because of that, I did reach out to fire officials and also code officials in the state and to find out that it is true that you only really need to have 1 means of egress. I mean, it's very concerning to me as a resident that that's the way the code reads. Yes, you do have to be able to exit a bedroom window, but technically you only have to have 1 means of egress. And it's public safety wise. I mean, considering we lost a firefighter, I think that's why it was on my mind so much. And it's just very disconcerting that that's the way the law is across the state of New Jersey, and if there's anything that you could do to really look at that, I'd appreciate it, but I do commend the Board of Adjustment for at least, it's not really in their purview, but they did ask a question of 2 different architects and 2 different developers about that, and if there is a suppression system put in, it's okay, but the law really needs to be looked at and changed as a matter of public safety. Thank you.
Thank you. Hearing and seeing, do we have anyone online?
Yes, we have one person virtual.
Okay. Individual that's virtual, you shall be unmuted. We've just closed public comment in person. The floor is now yours.
Hi, Leela Borsa, 1046 Hillside Ave. I'm calling with a suggestion. I'm watching on YouTube. What I would suggest is most people don't realize when they're on hold, when they've entered the meeting ID number, that they actually have to do extra steps like dial 9 to raise your hand, dial 6 to unmute. So I commend you for holding the meetings online. However, the instructions on YouTube don't indicate. They just indicate followed by pound. So for people who don't know about the additional information, it would take an extra line just to add that on the crawler or where you have it, public comments, please call, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, thank you for the suggestion.
Okay. If I still have some time, just a question as to how our pets are doing with title shot, if anyone wants to comment. If not, I understand.
Okay, is that the remainder of the finality of your comments?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Okay, public comment is now closed. Director Brown, if you want to speak briefly about title shot, whatever you have to say, a report to the community?
I don't have a I don't have a report to present.
No,
but,
not a report.
Certainly, we've gotten no complaints, but we are working closely with Title Shop to make sure that they are compliant and they're doing what they can and what they can do to make sure the pets either go back to their owners or are adopted. We have been working with the community to try to come up with best solutions, and we are making some headway there as well.
Okay. Any lingering responses the administration want to get? I don't recall any, but we'll give an opportunity.
Council President, excuse me, I think the madam had a question in the beige jacket. She had a question, I believe.
A question?
Yeah, I think she
Okay.
had a statement or a question.
Okay. Well, we had public comment, but that was your opportunity. Did you want to say something during public comment? Okay. I'll reopen public comment for you, ma'am. You have 3 minutes. Name and address for the record and state your
My
issue.
name is Shirley Davis, 810 Kingston Avenue, where my husband Charles and I both live. I was here several months ago concerned about my particular neighborhood. Since that time, the issue has elevated. Concern, if you remember, that I said I was a little bit concerned who and what and how it's going on in my neighborhood. We don't know who lives there. We know in the morning, cars are gone. At nighttime, there's a magnitude of cars on the particular block. There's not many homes on that block. The cars represent not only that many, but the whole block, 4-block area. I am still concerned. I have talked to my city council, 2nd Ward, and nothing has happened. So this is why I'm back here today. I love Plainfield. I've been here a very long time. My 3 children had wonderful education. They are outstanding, professional people. I want to stay here, but once again, as I said, I am concerned. You see my age. I am a senior citizen. I cannot understand why the city of Plainfield allow people to come in and live in the basement, live in the garage. It's not what Plainfield should be all about. A beautiful historical garage turning into a 3-family house. Inexcusable for the city of Plainfield. I care. Do you care? That's why I'm here again. I would speak to the 2nd Ward councilperson again, and I'm hoping something will happen. The only reason my husband, Charles Davis, is not here, we are one, is he do not feel well. So I'm here to represent Charles and Shirley Davis, and I hope that you hear what we're saying. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for your fine representation. Okay, public comment is closed again, and I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, meeting adjourned.